up, people? LUI here, daily this time around rather than nightly, exceptionally. So I worked out in the morning because I woke up very sick actually. Slept like 3 hours or so maximum, and all kinds of allergies, trouble breathing. So I know by experience the way to fix it is to go to the gym, right? So that's what I've done. Training was okay. It was fine, but frankly, I prefer working out at night. Definitely more efficient when I have like several meals in my system. I'm definitely warmed up better, and by experience, it was the best training of my life when I used to train at night. Back in the day when I used to be a corporate slave, I used to finish that job at 10 p.m. and then go to the gym right after. It was the best training experience of my life. Anyway, today I have two subjects for you guys. Yet again, I'm going to talk about bodybuilding, but real quick, and then we're going to switch to a more interesting subject. So bodybuilding, I have to address this. This weekend, there was a show in my country, Canada, and tons of you guys, my fellow Canadians, and even some Americans, you know, you sent me some backstage pictures of pros being in a terrible condition, right? Now, of course, I'm not going to publish these footage. I don't want to be in that drama whatsoever. So I see a lot of footage of, you know, some guys, some pros puking, some others saying, I'm cold. Some others trembling and having some shivers, and one of them literally, you know, spitting blood and whatever. Anyways, something like gory and stuff. What can I tell you? I mean, it's a known fact by now. I mean, is it like a secret? Are you guys surprised by knowing that Backstage, these guys are in the weakest shape ever? That's why it is not a sport. Same thing when I was in Kuwait. Backstage, dude, these so-called athletes, they were like breathing heavy and whatever, trying to drink or eat stuff and having some low sugar and symptoms. What the hell is going on? So yeah, it is what it is. It's no secret. Bodybuilders, when they compete, they are at their weakest, which is the opposite of being an athlete. When you're an Olympic athlete, for that matter, when you compete, you're at the peak of your shape. Bodybuilding is the opposite. That's why bodybuilding will never be an Olympic sport, because it is not a sport, right? And for those who dare saying that every sport is enhanced, that's absolutely false, right? Today, actually, there is Roland Garros, which is one of the best tournament of tennis. I saw Rafael Nadal, playing. He is not enhanced. In a week from now, there will be the soccer FIFA Cup in Russia. Most of the athletes will not be enhanced. If they catch somebody, one or two, they're the exception rather than the rule, right? Whereas bodybuilding, everybody is enhanced. Everybody is enhanced. That's the pure truth. That's why it is not a sport. That's why it was not accepted as an Olympic sport. It will never be. It's a pageant, and it is where it is. So 2018, if you don't know about this, you're absolutely oblivious, and I'm sorry. You need to check your intelligence, right? It's a known fact. And that being said, it was quite sad to see some kids spending their money, like 21-year-old kid. He goes there to a hotel and he goes to a show and he's so proud of it. Oh, it's like Christmas for me. Dude, you're just blowing up your money. And unfortunately, these guys are delusional. They think they're going to be pros. And even if you're a pro, most of these pros, they're losing money when they compete, right? Even if they place like top 6, most of them, the equation is losing money. So they're hoping to get exposure to make money with training or supplements or things like that. That's the reality of things, right? Most bodybuilders are broke, move over it, and most of them are unhealthy. So I'm not going to publish these gory pictures of them puking blood and saying, I have shivers, I'm cold, I don't feel good, sugar, whatever. I don't care about that. Anyway, second subject, which is definitely more important. Talking about meritocracy, actually. Meritocracy, which comes from the word merit. To to basically deserve a position, either in a society or an organization or a corporation for that matter, which is kind of a novelty in human evolution, or an abnormality for that matter. Corporation is a beast, an abnormal beast, right? Which is absolutely not saluted. And well, a lot of you guys send me messages and you feel awkward being obliged somehow to comply with the rules of this beast, the corporation, right? You go there and you act in a non-humane way. Everybody is a hypocrite, and when you start at the bottom of the ladder, of the echelon of that corporation, you see your colleagues who are pretty much simps and cucks progressing better than you. Why? Because they're brown nose to the bosses, they backstab, and that's the way they progress, which is an absolutely abnormal way in human evolution. Back in the day, the best hunter, because whether you like it or not, for the best of our evolution, we're hunters-gatherers. So the best hunter is the one that succeeds better, right? And he basically transmits his gene, natural selection. Natural selection. You go to the Serengeti today in Kenya, all the lions, right, or the male lions in the pride, are a product of natural selection for millions of years, right? And just the best genes survived because he's the best protector of his territory. Thus, he was able to basically transmit his gene to the next generation. Whereas today, it's an abnormality. It's the opposite. The alpha male is shunned, actually, is attacked. To be masculine, they call you toxic masculinity. They associate toxicity to being manly, right? Kids are being castrated at school nowadays. Now in my country, which reflects what is happening in the whole Western world, if you go to kindergarten and also primary school is pretty much when you are from the age of 6 to 12. There is almost no male teachers. No male teacher whatsoever. So these kids, these young boys, not only, most of them, they come from a single mother household, right? And then when they go to school, they have no role models whatsoever. So they grow up pretty much most of their teenage years without a male figure. Not only that, at school, they make them feel bad to be a boy. They say you are too boisterous. You're too boisterous, right? Now, in the US and also in Canada, they literally drug them. They give them a medication called Ritalin, right? In French, it's called Ritalin, right? Because they say, yeah, you're overactive. They want to make them girly in a sense. You know, because boys are active, they want to compete, and it's their way of being boisterous. It is natural. Hell, I swear to God, when I purchased my cats, I have 2 females. The lady who sold me the cats, she told me the males, I mean the kitten males, are definitely more aggressive and more active, because that's being a male, for Lord's sake. A male, it is made to compete with other males. It's natural competition. It's called male competition, right? You go up in the mountains, you will see those big horns, which are kind of a sheep actually. They call them big horns, like, you know. And they collide with each other, the males. It's natural selection to have a hierarchy, and the alpha male will procreate. It is natural, right? Whereas our boys in the human society, since today's liberals, they want to castrate them, they want to basically cancel their masculinity. I want you actually to go to Google. Please go to Google and type in Toys R Us. You know Toys R Us, right? Like a big store. Type in Toys R Us Sweden. Please do so. Type in Toys R Us Sweden and then go to images. In Sweden, they do it on purpose. They give boys girly toys. They give them like doll houses and to play with hairdressing and make up stuff when they are boys. And for girls, they give them the opposite. They give them, like, you know, trucks and building stuff. They're switching the traditional gender roles. It is a proper social engineering, right? From Sweden, for that matter. Same goes here. As you guys know, right now there is a trend. Some people, I mean, those liberals, when they have boys, they say, oh, I'm gonna queer my boy. They queer them. So when he's young, they tell him, no, you are not a male, right? They told them this is traditional gender role. You don't know what is your gender yet. You're genderless, right? And not only that, they force that kid to be feminine. They don't do the opposite though. I mean, if you say he has no sex or no gender, why do you force him to wear makeup? You're making him feminine. So that's what they're doing in a sense. Like, they're shown in masculinity, right? And again, this is a symptom of a dying society. Dire consequences will come, actually. Dire consequences will come. A society that acts this way, it is absolutely doomed and destined to disappear from that natural selection, right? It is what it is. So, unfortunately, is there a cure for this? I don't think so. A cure is a proper reset, like a renaissance of some sort. To continue on this path, there is no fix in it. Because unfortunately, liberals will always be the majority, right? Because simps plus feminists, they're just more than us, right? And they will always win. Since there is a universal vote, it is not fixable. And for the record, universal vote, as far as I remember, as far as I know, I think it was given first time in the state of Oregon, or something, I mean, Oregon or Nebraska, anyway, northwestern territory of the US. I think it was in 1866 or 1869. They gave universal vote, because back then, the pioneers, they were like 5 men for 1 woman. 5 men for 1 woman. So they had to attract women there for these guys to get married, right? Because there was no women. There was a shortage of women. So they gave universal vote. And since then, generation after generation, society had to give up rights, and we became a welfare state. Welfare state meaning we enable the weak to demand, right? And there's a transfer of wealth from people who work, mostly productive men. They give it to these weak people, you know, like social programs and this and that. Like in my country, in my province, maternity leave, if you have a baby and you're a woman, you have 1 year off, paid off. Like right now, if I go to a mall, there will be a huge amount of mothers with their strollers working there for a year, getting paid. By who? By taxes. That's why my province is the most taxed place actually in North America. Is it good? I don't think so. I don't think so. But that's that. And same goes for, I mean, in my country, you can even not work. There is something called bien-être social, which is a check given to people who don't work for their whole life. That's how crazy it is. In my country, you cannot just not work, and you receive a check for free for the rest of your life. It's called BS, bien-être social, right? And who pays for it? Guys who basically work. So that's that. So is there a solution to this? Not on this line, actually. That there needs to be some sort of a revolution, a reset to fix this. And this is one of the biggest problems of the Western society. It is going down. There is no fixing it. In the long run, if it continues this way, this is quite triggering, but it is what it is. It is happening. There will be a societal replacement, in a sense, which is happening all across the Western world, right? Westerners are failing, and they're being replaced by people that come overseas, And some say it is a sort of a self basically correcting process. I repeat, so it is a sort of a self-correcting process, meaning the local population is failing to reproduce. It is committing suicide in a sense, a genetic suicide. And those leftists and feminists are inviting genes from overseas who are definitely more macho, who are definitely more patriarchal in their essence, and in the long run they will replace the locals. And some say it is a natural way of bringing things to an equilibrium, to a balance in a sense, right? It is quite triggering, and it is the pure truth. I'm sorry. God knows, I come from a proper patriarchal society, right? And people who come from my region, like North Africa or any other third world country, they tend to reproduce more, right? And believe me, they have traditional gender roles, and they will win at the end of the day. So it will come back. If you go to South America, you go to Asia, you go to Africa, where I come from, it is still patriarchy all day. So patriarchy will always win at the end of the day. Unless the Westerners bring back their testicles and they found a way to revive their civilization, they will disappear. And you know what? Humanity will not cry for you guys, Westerners, if you disappear, because you are biting yourself in a sense. You need to revive that, and would you have the urge, a survivor urge, to correct this, bring back traditional values, as triggering as it is. As triggering as it is nowadays to say this, but I can afford to say it. The only way for human society to work is patriarchy. Gender roles, right? As simple as that. If you're intelligent enough, you go to the source of the problem. Human society have been patriarchal since ever. Every great civilization, the Greeks, the Romans, the Egyptians, the Persians, the Chinese of old, every dynasty has been patriarchal. There is not a single one matriarchy that survived. There is a myth of the Amazons, but it is just a myth. I'm sorry, it is what it is. God bless you. Tell me what you guys think about it. Don't forget to like the video and comment. I'll be pretty much reading every single comment from you guys. It is quite informative. God bless you and have a blessed day. What's up, people? Anyway, woke up very sick this morning, actually. Allergies and stuff. Slept like 3 hours, but so came to Dr. Jim to fix that. Doing some back. There we go. I'm trying a new supplement, by the way, and so far so very good. I'll tell you that much. Proper, isn't it? There we go. Rose for days, bros. We have a proper back development. Did 4 sets. About 10 more to go.